Welcome to Reflections, a program where we discuss values and virtues for the transformation of the individual and the society in general. I am Father George Ehusani. Once again today I have in the studio Mrs. Eugenia Abu, media consultant, Eugenia Abu of the NTA fame. She rose to be Executive Director of Programs in NTA, and she's been running her own consultancy outfit for the media, for mentoring of young people, coaching, leadership formation, and so on and so forth. Right now she is organizing some program for children of between 7 and 14 to raise them up in skills and also in character. Eugenia, you are doing a good job.
Thank you, Father. It's Welcome. Good to be here. Thank you
very much. So you are retired but not tired, right?
I'm quite busy.
Great. Today, Eugenia has come once again to our studio because we want to discuss the anti-corruption campaign. This time we're not talking of the government campaign, we are talking of the campaign as we all should own the campaign. How do we raise our young people in this country to be men and women of integrity? What is our role? What is the role of parents? What is the role of teachers? What is the role of media executives? In our anti-corruption program that Lux Terra is anchoring, with the support of Mercator Foundation, you are part of it, and you are taking the dimension of the media, and we call it new influences and influencers. The character of our people today is influenced by the media, the social media as well as the regular media. How can we use the same media that we are complaining about? We are complaining about social media and how our children are behaving. We are complaining about Yahoo, and how people's character is being formed by the social media. People are being mentored. How can you use these same media, both traditional and new? How can we use them to form people to be men and women of character, of integrity? How do we use these same media to fight corruption in our society and instill a culture of accountability? That's the issue we need to discuss.
Thank you, Father. A little bird told me that congratulations are in order. You are shy of 40 years in the Lord's vineyard. At 37, I want to congratulate
you
for
very
your
much.
work.
Thank you.
I wish you well, and I wish you many more years in God's service. And
Amen.
May your vineyard where you're working yield many positive fruits.
Amen. Thank you.
I think it's important for us to look at the media from a perspective where many parents don't pay attention. A lot of the things our children are learning, they're learning them on social media. They're learning others on TV. I worked in TV for many years, and I was quite a young person who enjoyed watching TV. But the content at the time is not the content we have now. I watched TV, I watched how many investigative programs used to catch thieves, and I vowed that I would not want to be a thief in my life because I saw what happened to them.
Yes.
I watched programs that came from abroad like Hawaii Five-0, Canon, CSI, how lawyers and people in the field of catching criminals were, and how I learned that quite early, that there was good and there was bad, and that bad was not good. And my
bad was to be avoided.
Yes, totally. By the number of bad people that were caught and sent to jail, apart from the things my parents were telling me about how bad is bad, I also saw that TV told me that bad is bad. I lived in Zaria, I watched NTA Kaduna, there were programs on culture, there were programs on character. Today is a free fall. There's pornography on TV. If you have good money, you can buy it. You can watch pay channels that show you how to catch another person's husband. There are TV programs that show you how to be a criminal. There are TV programs, especially reality programs, that tell you that all you need to do is to betray another person.
And you win.
And you win. Another one is to do chua-chua. And you win. They call it strategy. But it is not strategy. It is how to dehumanize another human being. It's how to have moral depravity. Sleep with each other in public. You go and win. I have difficulty in dealing with those kind of programs. That is what our children are watching. They're texting each other to be ready. We watched football. I was a girl, but I watched football. I rooted for Nigeria. These are programs that imbibe in you unity.
So what you are saying is that television as it was 30, 35, 40
Oh no,
years
it has
ago
changed
is not
significantly.
the way television
Yes.
is now.
It's about how much money content can bring in. And I mean, I do programs for children and so on. A lot of sponsors would rather sponsor a highly morally depraved musician than to sponsor a program that you are doing to teach children leadership skills. So there's a challenge within the society. And we have to really change our mindsets. Character building, like you said. Anti-corruption tendencies. We have to groom them from small.
What you are saying now is very disturbing.
Yes.
Because when you go to organizations that sponsor
Yes.
programs,
Yes.
you have otherwise responsible looking people
Oh.
who are the MDs and the commercial managers and advert managers and so on and so forth. But when you now see the kind of things they sponsor on TV, they tell you that that is what the young people will like.
No.
Is it just what the young people will like?
It's not just what they want because they don't know any better. If you recall in one of our programs that me and you had this discussion on this platform, we talked about internal funk.
Yes.
Most young people don't know what they want. And most societies that have done very well provide that little window
Yes.
where you are telling them what is good.
Yes.
And if you tell them what is good long enough, they imbibe
Then they
it.
will imbibe what is
Yes,
good.
then it becomes second nature to them. That is why when you are not watching, you run a society based on telling them what is right. If you are not watching, they will not break traffic light. If it has become part of them. But if you have not taught them that this is not good for long enough, they are going to break traffic light and tell you that, well, everybody is doing it.
So what do we do about people who are maybe 50, 40, 45 years old, who are managers, MDs, and advert managers in their companies, and who all they are attracted to is the money that comes, how much sales they are going to make, and therefore what they pay for as advert are this, what I would call
Horrible things
on TV. So I watch these things and I'm like, okay, the young people don't know better, but what about those sponsoring these things?
What it is that if you study marketing research from old, it's called from cradle to death. Their plan is to, if it is vices like tobacco or whatever it is, you catch them young. It is why they sponsor music festivals, because that is where those things that they sell that are not good for our children are sold, so that they get addicted from, so from cradle to death. And those are some of the things parents should watch out for. There are certain things that are not good for your children, even on TV.
Yes.
You see those things they put on pay TV channels that says, this will lock it. Children have learned to unscramble it. So you have to have many devices that prevent them from going where they shouldn't go, which is why you shouldn't give a young person a smartphone.
Yes.
Because he will go where he shouldn't go. But talking about those people you see who are responsible, I think they are a demographic that is that needs attention.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yes, they should be collected into a room and told how they are damaging society, because everything is not about money. Their corporate social responsibility should be about how society can be better. A lot of the money should be given to make society better. You cannot say we're heading for 2019, we're worried about how people will misbehave and so on, when you have not put money in training young people not to fight.
Yes.
Yes. You should put money in ensuring that there is voter education, that you teach young people that winning and losing is not the end of the world. In the children's program, which I lead facilitate, the young people's program, which we do, the Treasured Writers, we teach winning graciously and losing gallantly.
Yes.
Because we have an election where somebody becomes ambassador. That ambassador by next year gets to represent us, goes to the UN, appears on TV programs, and they campaign. In fact, 2 of the editions we had, INEC came and helped us to conduct the election. I mean, I'm talking about 50 children of between 7 and 14. And if you see the cry, when the ones who have lost, they have campaign managers. It's interesting to watch children. And they are beginning to imbibe some of the things that their parents are doing. So you can see somebody trying to bring cake and other things that are not allowed in the...
bribe.
Yes. So there are rules and regulations. You can bring pencil, you can bring sharpener, you can bring... but you cannot be bringing cake. You cannot be bringing meat pie. It is not allowed. But when they lose, the other ones begin to laugh at them. and their self-esteem is eroded.
Yes.
So what we do is we have one or two people who are counselors who, we give a lecture once the votes are cast. The results
to prepare them for the results.
Yes, the results are announced on Saturday when there's a party, when their parents are there, when the loss is less felt.
So you have something like a peace meeting, the one that was held between Jonathan and Buhari before the election.
Yes. So basically, young people are prepared, but they also learn that if you lost this year,
you could win next year.
You could win next year, and that the person who lost is not a bad person or not an unintelligent person who is teaching these things. Corruption is brought about by winner takes all. Corruption is brought about by some of these reality programs. When you lose, you lose. The person who won takes the car. All the remaining 3 finalists get nothing. So those people that you are talking about who are holding those positions as marketing directors need to understand the psychology of young people. You cannot say the 3 people who ran the race should get nothing, and the one who won. So they do everything possible to be the ultimate winner, including betray others, knife people in the back,
Is that not
cheat.
why? Is that not why sportsmen and others are taking doping?
Yes.
Because of a culture of the winner takes all.
Yes.
So you have made an important point. This whole the winner takes all is not good.
No.
Because people will do anything and everything
Yes.
to be the winner.
Yes.
They say this thing about aggressive competition.
Yes.
I have an expression to say what you compete to get, you compete to keep. For others will compete to snatch from you what you competed to grab from them.
Yes.
So aggressive better collaboration.
Yes.
Every human being has ingenuity. Every human being has something to bring to the table. So society has to evolve some way of getting the gifts of each person on the table and using, rather than promoting an aggressive competition where one person wins and the other are left high and dry.
Yes. You see, in these things that we do for the TTW ambassador, the person who comes second is called deputy ambassador. The person who comes third is called scribe. Everybody gets a gift.
Yes.
Winner takes all is not good for children.
It's not good for children.
It's not good for anyone.
This is the reason why in many societies that are very conscious of this, there are no positions in primary school and high school.
Yes.
No positions. You pass, you pass. And so everyone's effort is appreciated.
Yes.
And they do well, and they still go to do well in the university, even though they didn't feature positions in primary school.
Academics is not the only way a child is brilliant.
Yes.
A child can be a painter, and he doesn't know mathematics.
Yes.
So
and
you cannot.
It can be an excellent painter.
He can be a good woodwork person.
Yes.
So don't say because he doesn't know mathematics, he's not going to be an engineer, he's not a good child, he doesn't have anything. Why do we have corruption at such a high level? It's because there's a separation of peoples. So there's a group of people considered the ones who can become MDs, and the rest of you are nothing. And that is not good. So if you don't become an MD at all cost, then you are poor, or you are stupid, or you are an idiot. You don't want to eat the national cake. Corruption is about the big things and the small things, and parents must keep an eye on those things. My father used to tell me that I'm the most beautiful girl in the world. He told me so much so I actually believed him. So when we went to the university and they say we're doing Queen Amina pageant, they came to me and said, will you like to run? I said, I've been validated by my father. Do I need another judge?
I don't need another one.
My father says I'm beautiful. So if I go now, are you going to tell me that if I didn't win, I'm no longer beautiful? So my father prepared me for what the world will throw at me. And I never competed in any beauty contest because it wasn't necessary. But today we put small children to wear crown. We tell them they are beautiful. Then when they go forward and one human being tells them down the road that they are ugly, their entire self-esteem crashes.
They are committing suicide.
So you need to look out for things like small things like, what are your children doing? Are they buying stuff they can't afford on the internet? Because there's corruption in there. People are teaching children to shop for things they can't afford. There are scams in there. Are your children involved in scams as a 10-year-old? Is he selling something that is broken to his classmates? And saying, then you encourage him, you say, he's a businessman. He's a fraud. He's not a businessman. He will take it higher. Is she wearing, are you giving her short dress and halter neck to wear? You're encouraging prostitution. When she's older and she's exposing her body, you begin to complain. You taught her that she should go to church wearing short shorts, where when she bends, you can see her pants. When they don't give you back change as your children, you should worry. Go and buy me this. Where is the receipt? Demand accountability from when they're small. Tomorrow, when they work in a filling station, in a supermarket as cashiers, they won't keep people's change. That's corruption. When you try to destroy another person because you want to enhance your ambition, which we are seeing everywhere today in politics, is because the child was taught that, you know what, that junior who is always coming first, let's wound him so that you can come first. Or a parent is paying a teacher to write exam for his child.
Talking about scandal, what has been happening in our society in the last few weeks with regards to our leaders, between the executive and the legislature, invasion of the House of Assembly, and so on and so forth. Now, what kind of thing are we exposing our children to?
Amazing.
Because, I mean, we want to teach integrity.
Yes.
We want to raise our children to be men and women of integrity,
Yes,
and to be responsible. But when they see their leaders, those that are really in authority, when they see them messing up before them on TV, live on TV, what are we doing to the future generation? What terrible impact will this have, and how can we mitigate the negative impact?
I think a lot of things that are happening today is as a result of a leadership deficit. As a people, we throw up people all the time who seemingly look like, because, one, they can afford it, because they have been zoned, something has been zoned to them, because they have gathered enough money, that therefore they are leaders. The fact that these qualifications that I've just mentioned are there does not make them leaders.
No, of course not.
When we teach our children, we teach them 7 qualities of a leader. It involves patience. It involves empathy. It involves hard work. It involves sharing. It involves understanding. It involves ensuring that you don't lead the people to war, or you don't lead them astray. 7-year-olds in this summer boot camp learn it, and they learn it for life. If you're not a patient person, if you're not a kind person, there is a leadership deficit, because a lot of the people we threw up didn't have these things from when they were growing. And it is showing when they are adults. And let me remind you, Father, there is also a lot of complete lack of integrity. When you don't have integrity, you really don't care. When you don't care, it doesn't matter what people are saying about you.
And it doesn't matter how much you are impacting on negative impact.
It does
you're
not
having
matter,
on society.
because they have children. These people have children. Have you stopped to think what kind of children they have? Not to talk of the wider children of Nigeria that they have adopted. Take a look. Many challenges. Because the children they have been spoilt with money. Their father cannot be wrong. The children they have watched them short-circuit the system for so long that it is now second nature to that family. So what we have is we've thrown up people who are ready to do anything for power. And that is a challenge. So from schools, from homes, parents must teach integrity. I remember my mom telling me how my dad asked her to return turkey.
The turkey was brought at Christmas.
The turkey was brought. My father was chief education officer for the North. The turkey was brought to say thank you by someone. My mother and her mother, my grandmother, were home in Kaduna. I was very young. And my father said, who brought the turkey? My mother named somebody. He came to say thank you because his child got admission. And my father said, but the child passed. I didn't do him any favors. So where is the turkey from? She said, well, he brought it. And we were thinking of cooking it. And she said, my father said, return it. And my mother and her mother walked around the area in Kaduna looking for this man who brought the turkey. Do you see it today? What it is that it's a gift. Shebi is just turkey.
Yeah. But you see, that's where big corruption, that's where
Absolutely.
$350 million, that's where it begins.
Exactly.
You know, we need such stories, actually. The program we are running, we would actually be welcoming such stories.
Yes.
Because our young people need to hear. I mean, I said it somewhere, that in this country, a district officer had his appointment terminated in 1924 because he bought a typewriter not in the regular manner. I mean, he misappropriated. It's not as if he stole the money.
He didn't process it well.
He didn't process it well and bought a typewriter for his office.
Not even for his home.
No, he lost his job for not following the budget strictly.
Absolutely.
He bought an Olympia or whatever typewriter.
When he could have bought a lower version.
Yes. he was terminated, meaning after years of a career and then going overseas, coming to Nigeria as a district officer and working for years, he was terminated, meaning with no benefits because he bought a typewriter.
Yes.
Now, if you do not start from where it begins, like return that turkey,
yes,
then why are you surprised when tomorrow somebody, public officer, steals $350 million?
it is meaningless to them. It's very small money because everybody is trying to shortchange the next person. You can't even get simple things like you are looking for without somebody telling you how far.
Which is why it's so dangerous what we see happening in primary schools, in secondary schools, in universities, what they call sorting.
Yes, you pay for marks.
Yeah, you pay for marks, and parents are involved.
Very much so.
And they think that society will be better when parents today are involved in sorting for their children.
Yes. So what kind of engineer is that?
Yes.
Why would the house not collapse? If you have sorted that engineer, he doesn't know anything about engineering, how does he compete with his peers? I tell people that I will go to BBC, go to CNN, and when I speak, they listen because I took time. I was patient to learn my craft. Young people, a lot of them are not patient. First, their pocket money is 250,000, some of them. Then when they start working and you say their salary, just like you write, is 65,000, they don't cope. My father would say, if you cannot manage 5 naira, you can't manage 5 million. We're teaching our children, we're giving them an appetite that is going to destroy them.
Yes.
You give them too much. You give them what they don't need. You don't allow them to think it through. They want this. You give them. They want this. You don't ask them for what.
I was sharing with a young person yesterday a book by one Albert Schweitzer. He's a psychiatrist. More is less.
More is less.
Yes. The fact that people think that by giving their children all this, they are going to have better human beings, they're actually destroying their children.
It's because they're absentee parents, Father.
They are bribing
the kids. By giving them these things, then you won't need me. A toy is different from a parent. A computer game, which by the way has high addiction these days.
Yes.
In South Korea, there are clinics for curing you of being an addict of computer games. There are kids in schools today abroad whose parents are in Nigeria who are addicted to computer games. They are not going to school.
Because they can't just leave that place.
No. It's an addiction. That's where they stay from morning till night. And some are in Nigeria here. So parents need to wake up. It's not about how much money you give the child. It's not about what school you put him, the best one. You are competing with your neighbors. You need to put your money where your mouth is. How much can I afford? What school can I afford? Don't go and put your children in a 500,000 naira school when your salary, is 50,000. Between you and your husband, you are struggling to make 100,000 a month, 70,000. Then you put the child in 500,000. Are you not going to steal? Are you not telling the child that he needs to steal to sustain that kind of fake lifestyle?
We are going to end where really at the cradle, the family, the issue of the family. It is so important. We cannot fight corruption in this society on a long-term basis to reduce and eventually to wipe out corruption from our society for any long-term basis if we do not work on the family.
Yes.
The quality of men and women that are going into marriage, the quality of family life, and making time for children rather than bribing children. Making time for children. I mean, if your work is so important for you, your career is so important for you, now face your career.
Don't have children.
Don't go into family life. Don't have children. But if children are important for you, then you must make time for those children rather than thinking that by bribing the children, you would, they will be happy. Well, that is short-term measure.
It is.
Instant gratification, but the consequences are terrible. And the society as we have now, particularly I am worried about exam malpractice. Exam malpractice that is not only at university level, at high school level, it's even in primary school level. What we are planting in children is that cheating does pay.
Absolutely.
Cheating does pay. And if we are going to turn it around and say cheating does not pay, then parents must model it. Leaders must model it. Right now, with what is happening in our society, parents must continue to constantly dilute what children are exposed to.
Yes.
Because children are exposed to negative vibrations.
Yes.
I think that in every home, Parents must constantly sit down with children to say, look, you saw that on TV.
What did you get?
Yes, what did you get? And that that is not the way to live.
Yes.
You saw leaders doing this. That's not the way to be leaders.
Yeah. Because they are using those leaders as their role models.
Yes.
If they fight, if they quarrel, if they have no integrity, as long as they have money, it's okay.
Yes.
And that should not be the message.
You should tell your children that those are gangsters and not leaders.
That is it.
That those are gangsters. If you see leaders carrying chairs in the House of Assembly to beat one another, those are gangsters and not leaders.
And the media has, the parent has a big role to play in their social life.
Yes.
It's not every party you should attend.
Yes.
It has to be very important to you. If you work Monday to Friday and Saturday and Sunday, you are from one naming ceremony to another. You are changing ashwebi like pure water. You are attending everybody's wedding. And weddings are longer than necessary these days.
Yes.
You go and sit down there from morning till night. Can you not attend it for 1 hour and go home to your children? They didn't see you at all. You expect them to learn integrity? Where are you?
And the kind of, in many of those parties now, the kind of music they play.
And ostentatious living.
Ostentatious living. Even the music is celebrating vanity.
Yes.
We hardly have responsible music, the kind we used to have when I was young. No. It is all kinds of things celebrating vanity, really.
Yeah.
So we have work to do. Our generation have work to do if we are going to have anyone succeeding us, if society is going to be sane. The consequence of what we are having today is a sick society.
It is.
We are going to have a lot of sick human beings. Now, Eugenia, tell us your last word on this. The media and what the media can, how the same media that often has a lot of corrupting influence, how the media can be used to turn things around as a powerful instrument. Any last word from you?
Yes, I think character building. I think dramas that pursue, we had them. We had Kokro at Dawn in the past. We had good programs. We followed them in the village there. The village chief, the Kabiesi, was a role model. The head teacher was everybody wanted to be a teacher because of village headmaster. Wanted to be a teacher. But today people don't want to be teachers because that teacher was a noble man.
Yes.
And those kind of characters should be thrown up. Yes. There should be programs that are about character. Yes. Should be programs, features discussing immorality.
So you are recommending that like these companies that sponsor corporate social responsibility should get back to sponsoring dramas like this?
Yes. Not only should they sponsor it, they should partner with producers who have written scripts that are worthy. Yes. Not the ones that show immorality, naked women, people snatching husbands. They should go back and look at those scripts and bring back those kind of things like Kokro have done. You would see even Zebrudiah sometimes, he will preach from what he is saying, even in the language he speaks. Yes. You all know that when Nati has done something wrong, Zebrudiah is in front. Ovaleria, the wife, is also in front. And in Village Headmaster, everybody, Amebo was considered Amebo because she gossiped. And it was a negative, she carried details. Yes. And she had a name. It became a name that all of us knew with gossiping. So those programs, both the children's program that teaches children high morality, values, culture, sharing, empathy, kindness can be brought to the fore. Yes. In fact, they can commission it. Yes. If you find a producer, I've talked with a few who are ready to go our way and say to me, can you write us, I'm a screenplay writer, can you write us dramas that imbibe these things? There are not many. They should all be brought into a room and told that if they continue in this trajectory, Nigeria will be destroyed by their money.
Oh, yes. If we do not change our course, we will end up where we are headed.
Absolutely.
And we are headed towards destruction.
Yes.
So on this note, we would bring this program to an end. We are believers. We believe that God has not left us to our own devices, and that with a little effort on our part, the grace of God will see us through, and our society will be transformed to be a society of integrity. May the Lord help us.
Amen.
Thank you very much, Eugenia.
I thank you, Father. It's been an honor to be here. Thank you.